Market vitals. The levels you need to triage the market. HFR from the floor currently escaped the smoke in couldn't be two different places on earth right now than Bend, Oregon and Bandon, Oregon, Matt.
Also,
Bend, Oregon.
Also close to North Bend, Oregon.
Also close to North Bend. I mean, I've met
Which is
several
confusing because it's southwest of Bend.
And not only that, I'm sure you've met the people that come to Bend and say, yeah, I flew into North Bend and then I had to drive 5 hours.
Right.
Wrong Bend. Like, why am I on?
And it cost me $3,000 to fly there because nobody flies there.
It's always, you know, and speaking of Bend, North Bend, yeah, got it. Let me share. Whoops. Let me share because this is on tap tomorrow, Matt. And I saw the Live Golf now. Did you see how much they're going to pay?
No.
For the anyway, Bandon Dunes, a fantastic golf destination.
Well, hey, Live Golf, you should be sponsoring Market Vitals. So let's just throw it out there, and we'll take
for
$3 million ahead to start. That's for Bob and I.
Practice at Shorty's for $10, Matt. You can get a day guest pass and play all the chipping zones, the putting zones. I think they said they have an acre putting green there. An acre.
It's a big.
And then the little par 3 that they got for $10. It's the best value in golf there is for sure, bar none. But Matt, there's been so much bad news, right? Especially around cities. And I wanted to just be the ray, the shining ray and share this. Overtime shared this only in New York City. You don't have the audio, but I'll dub in the audio for you as we got this gentleman here and he's asking the kid, give me a little help. I want to take this shot. He's like, I bet I can make it. He's like, where are you shooting to? He points it over the fence. Oh, how about the little soccer move?
Yeah.
And then
money.
And then, only in New York City. He runs away like he robbed the place.
Right.
I mean,
He's dropping the mic. I
don't even get that. You know, sometimes my Twitter
feed he's a schizophrenic. That's an amazing basketball. I mean, it's real simple, Bob. I mean, you've been to the Bronx.
Look at this over the fence. I mean, Manute Bol it's the fence is taller than Manute Bol.
I mean, he must hit that 200 times a day. That's what he does all day.
He lives on McDonald's fries with this shot.
Yes,
that's the bet. All right, and then the next, I said this yesterday. My Twitter feed, it just delivers. You got how about the F-18 cockpit landing? This guy looks like he's coming in so hot to me. Yeah, I'm not an F-18 pilot, but does he not look like he's coming in hot, too hot?
The carrier, it's always hot. You're just hoping that the
look at that
cable holds you. Hold on. Oh. There it is.
And then the third one, oil field rando shares. I apologize in advance for the FBI raiding your house. The kid cutting the lawn, he's next for the FBI after the pillow guy.
Right. Yeah. The pillow guy.
I mean, the world is upside down. And then let me just, because we got to talk prices in my tweets and replies, right? Let's go there because Matt, this is the car's moving. Matt, the train's not.
Right.
All right. The car's moving.
Yeah.
Aren't trains? When
was that taken? Because that looks like winter wherever that is. I don't know if that's real.
It is. You know what? God, you're so fucking astute. You can't get nothing past this guy.
I'm kind of.
They're just trying to make the point that if trains are stopped,
I'm saying fake news. Fake news,
dude. You know what? I didn't even notice it. That is awesome.
Fake news.
That is awesome. All right, you listen, Patrick. You're fired. All right, gas buddy guy. You just got fired from Market Vitals.
Yeah.
And Steve, you get fired too.
He must be a super MAGA. That's all I got to say. He must be hunt down Patrick because he's super MAGA. Gas.
All right, Matt. For sure there is a rail stoppage. There is a rail strike, unless I've missed something. So let's look at some rail companies.
Well, Well, here's what we're going to do. Since that was natural gas, we're going to start with Natty because that's more interesting right now. Because Natty's
Bring it.
Natty has been running this week, and we talked about it a little bit. But Natty currently trading 880 up another. Let me get the short-term chart for you here before we fractal out. These last couple of days, we talked about it yesterday. Buy it. Buy the.
We did talk about yesterday entering that meat of the profile and look out when that happens.
And it is exploding. We talked about it. He had a great buy opportunity and the comeback at 820, and we'd already bought it the day before in the sevens. And bam, this thing's going back to 9. It's going back to 950. Bob. It's making a run, and then you start looking beyond that. No beyond meat here, but you start looking beyond, and 10 was the recent high. So we held there at 780, and why wouldn't we take out a new high here as we get closer and closer? And it's cold here, by the way, this morning, 30s overnight. So we were down in the high 30s last night. But Natty Gas is looking good. You want to look at let's look at a few rail companies. We'll start with Union Pacific, getting hammered down $9 today, about 4%.
I mean, a strike cannot be good for the bottom line. I don't care what business.
It's already thin, right? It's already thin, and pays a 2.25, 2.3 dividend. But if you believe that things still got to keep moving when they avert the strike, it might be a good time to buy. It has been selling off for quite a while, since March. So the bottom.
I actually do like that chart, Matt, or like that thought process of finding some value to buy.
Because they will avert strike at some point, but maybe as it's sitting here trading at 217, you're like, wow, I'd really like to buy 202. So maybe you buy some in the money calls or something like that if you need to have a little exposure now in case it bounces for the recovery on the strike averted or whatever it may be, right? But that's kind of how that looks to me. CSX Corporation, again, we're looking at the same type of 1.2 dividend, 1.2% dividend, so much less on that. And again, kind of on the lower end here, looking at this is an 89 minutes, so we're looking at a full year here. This is not a short-term period, and this is below value. So I guess 28 comes into play, and the total range here in this chart is 28 to 38. So you got to be selective on when you want to buy CSX. It might be getting close to that area soon. NSC, Norfolk Southern, again, 2% dividend. These are all about the same size, about 50, 60 billion market cap. It's been as high as 300, currently 238. All of these are down big today, Bob. They're on sale. So if you like the rails and if you like them, this is the sale moment, I guess, where you can dip your toes in on some of these. They're on the lower end of the longer, the longer term ranges here.
Matt, were you a big fan of accumulating rails playing Monopoly as a lad? I mean, that
yeah, because you had 5s and 10s, right? So they were up, those numbers were landed on all the time. I did like the rails. Yeah,
I knew a game official. I maybe don't know how much of a game aficionado Miss Trade is, but the word Parcheesi has come out of his mouth before in a conversation.
Yes,
and I thought it was an Italian hors d'oeuvre, Parcheesi, but apparently it's a game.
It's a great game.
It's a great game, he says. I'm not so sure about that.
Hey, we got a Friday night game on the college, and we'll talk a little bit more. On the Friday, we'll give the Saturday games, but we'll give you a little teaser for later in the show. I got a pick for you on the Florida State Louisville game Friday.
Oh, beautiful. All right, Matt, let me do this though. Let's get back to this for a second because it's pretty amazing. And this is back to the live 50 million purse for their championship. 50 million. Now, if you're on the PGA tour, and I had a conversation with our PGA friend that as a golfer, like, how are you not secretly applauding this because your purses are going to have to follow, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, 16 million to the 14 winner. I mean, it's just giant money. And they still do not have a delivery mechanism via a network, correct? I don't think they do. This is all just online.
Yeah, I think you'd have to watch it on the Live website. So yeah.
And the other thing interesting here is it's the championship October 27th to the 30th at Trump Doral in Miami. I thought,
Right.
El Trumpidente, he's not going to shy away from somebody willing to spend money for
Right.
sure.
And by the way, crude is back over 90 as we speak.
You know what? Why don't you bring the crude up? Because I think that's important. There's a few things, and it ebbs and flows, Matt. The important things that you look at every day.
Yeah.
And I know the crude is one of them.
It is. And we talked about it last week when it was dipping down here at 81. And again, it cracked up there to 97. So we've been, this range now is a $20 range for the last, 2 months, going back to mid-July. So as we get into the fall season and people are back to school, driving does, it's funny. Like, I think driving is bigger in the fall than it is in the summer. They always, party, they try to, sell oil because people are going on trips and all that. But I think the actual price of oil gets real this time of year, and again, we're back into the meat of the profile here. And
Matt, I'm wondering, I'm wondering, just like the mechanism that saw crude go to negative territory, and that's a delivery mechanism. Like there was no room to take delivery. All Cushing's was full.
Yeah.
And so if you were shorted and had to deliver oil, you actually physically couldn't do it.
Right.
I wonder if with this rail stoppage, if there's some sort of play that happens.
Oh, I think supply is a big piece of it for sure. I mean, whether it's trucks and or rail, I mean, if rail stops and the trucks stop, you can't get it at your local station. I mean, people don't realize this stuff is truly just in time. And you're filling up your car if you're driving, 40 miles to and fro. I mean, you're driving a couple times a day, right? I mean, you're filling up 2 times a week. So especially if more people are going back to work, and then if there's no, if there's no gas at your local station because the rail couldn't fill up. Yeah.
In fact, Matt, when we first drove into to Bandon, this is the first time this ever happened to me. When we got into town, I saw prices like $5.30, right? I'm like, are you shitting me? And then we saw a station $4.87, right? Pulled in a Shell station. Sorry, we have no gas.
See, and those
were
God.
Just first time it's ever happened to me in my life where somebody said, "Hey, you know what? We got no gas. Sorry."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how about you put that up on the fucking sign already?
Well, but you can still, we're still selling dollar Pepsis though.
This is true. The Quick Mart was open with the crispy chicken. By the way, the best fried chicken I've ever had is at a gas station in Bend, Oregon. But it is the crispy brand.
Yeah.
Gas station fried chicken. I mean, Lee, I know you're not into that, but do not underestimate the deliciousness and the flavor profile from the crispy gas station chicken. I'm not sure the oil gets changed as much as it should for my heart history, but in fact, Matt, let's do this. Let's look at KF's. Look at KFC after
you're making me hungry, and I was just looking at Chipotle, so I'm going to look at that one. We're up another 2% there today because why not? It's Wednesday, and Wednesday's burrito day. I don't know
it's Prince Spaghetti Day.
Oh, right,
Spaghetti day. For you eye ties, it's supposed to be a Prego day.
Right, but the burrito's up $2 or 2% today. So just putting it out there. I don't know what's going on, but.
Don't you want to sell that right now with both hands?
I do. Matter of fact, that's why I pulled it up. I want to sell it. So thank you.
Right on. All right. Anything else pressing? I'm trying to see if there's anything else pressing.
Here's the deal. I'm gonna talk a little bit about. I'm gonna preview the coming college football weekend for you here. And
you got to pull up something so we don't have to look at a black screen.
We've got Florida State, Louisville coming up. I love the Seminoles -2.5 at Louisville. I love this game. This might be my 5-star of the day of the Friday. It's one game. That's my 5-star.
So one game.
It's the only game.
So you know what? I gotta tell you too. I have a real problem.
No, there's another game. It's Air Force Wyoming.
Listen, I got a real problem with the NCAA dabbling with Friday night lights. Like, leave it alone. Let the high school people have Friday night. Why do you gotta be pigs?
And why don't they do it? Why don't they do it Thursday night? So I'm with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, at least battle the NFL for eyeballs. Leave the Friday night lights alone. That's all I'm saying.
Well, but the NFL said no, you can't do it probably. So, anyways, there's another game. I'm liking this BYU Oregon spread. Again, more to come on that probably the next day or two. I'm liking this Indiana Western Kentucky spread. I'm liking the Oklahoma Nebraska game. This is a little preview. Those three games are standing out to me. You're gonna have to watch Friday to see who we like, but those games are standing out.
It's not who cares who we like, it's like who you love.
Yeah.
Miss Trade, listen. Maybe the show just morphs into an NFL college football show because you're that good.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's not going to be a pro football show, that's for sure.
No.
Maybe it'll be a tailgate show, man. I've never lost a tailgate ever. Ever. Never.
And Purdue
Undefeated.
Syracuse. That's a real interesting game also, by the way.
By the by.
So yeah, crude up, natural gas up, market trying to drag up, it's dragging off the bottom here at the highs of the day, pretty much. Bonds barely green. They're up 3 ticks. They were up about 18 ticks. And selling off here at the end of the day. I think, I told Lee this morning I expected some upside movement, possibly to 280, 290 to 320. We're at 240 right now at the high of the day. So we're almost there. We haven't gotten there yet. That's really all I expected. We're at 90 on crude right now, Bob. I think that ultimately there's got to be a test. We stopped right in the line of the sand, which for me was 12.080. You can ask Lee. I told him yesterday we're going to stop at 12.80. We'll trade that yesterday. We got to 80.75. So right on the button.
On the downside.
On the downside. That was the first bounce. And so we're in the middle of that counter trend right now.
You know what? Let me share that because
but I don't see this trend. I'm not going to be bullish beyond today unless we're closing over 12,340. Unless we're closing over that, I'm not bullish today.
Yeah, I mean, it's the profile here is just crystal clear in this 13-minute. It's just this is flip a coin land, right?
Well, no, you have to close over 340 for you to retract some of the damage that we did yesterday. So. And that doesn't come easily. I mean, you got a lot of work here. So I think if we could rally up to I told Lee 320, 340 today, I'd be a big seller by the close. And we have some time until the close, but that's where I would look to sell that. And if you brought up the SPOOs, I don't know what the number is.
No, the SPOOs is going to be like 405, 03, same thing. And I thought the same thing today. Like now. Yeah,
but for me, it's got to get over 40-30. Like that's the number for me.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I love that trade setup too, as it struggles mightily all day to get up there.
Yes, it's so super heavy lifting right now. If it could get up there, I would be shorted and I would sell the breakdown of that low in addition, right? So that's what I told Lee also. Both and or.
Matt, they stopped teaching math and English, so you're clear now. You're fine. Don't even worry about it.
Right.
Don't even worry about it. Here's my question.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You know how us traders always say they sold it, they bought it. So now, were we woke from day one? Because we always said they, and who were they? So I think traders are really should be
the original wokester.
I think you should go to Wiki right now and say who came up with they, them, that, this, that, the other.
And it's for sure floor traders.
Sold. Right.
Sold. My question to you is, if math and English doesn't matter, why does an Ivy League education matter?
I don't think it does anymore. Well, the only thing it does is. But if you're already in the club, you're in the club. So, I don't know.
Come on.
I think if you're in the club, it doesn't even matter. If you're not in the club, like you're not, you got into Harvard, then it matters. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're in the club now. If you can get into Harvard, you're in the club. But if you're not in the club, it doesn't matter. So.
All right. Well, stuck in the middle with you, this profile 13-minute in the SPOOs going back just this month, right?
Yep.
So pick your battle points, but right
Well,
now
that's just a 2 week chart, which is
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
The 2 week chart says sit on your hands right here.
Well, it says sell higher, sell lower. Sell.
Bingo.
Sell.
Sell. It says sell. Sell. All right.
Until you get over 340 on the NASDAQ on a close on a Friday.
Well, we did some great stuff today, pointing out the hypocrisy of sharing a video that obviously isn't current. I hate that.
Yeah.
It's one of my pet peeves.
Right.
And we've canceled a few people. So thank you. Matt, the other thing just in, Denmark has just barred additional COVID jabs for most people under 50. Yet I just saw the US is just pumping these things out. Like somebody's is there a salesman of the week award that goes to somebody?
Joe Biden's won it 52 weeks in a row.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Matt. The other thing I'm seeing.
See this watch? This watch is worth more than Joe Biden's Walker.
As we leave, Matt, Tesla for some reason is trending. Let's leave the show with a little analysis of our favorite EV.
Our favorite car company.
Yeah.
It's up again.
Bring it up.
It's up. Hold on, it's up 4.5%, almost 5% again today. And it's interesting. Lee and I we were talking about this 2 days ago when the market was running. It was running. I said you got to sell it. So I'll say the same thing again because we're back to that level. We're up 4.5% today. Sell Tesla. Sell it, you dummies. Sell it. Sell it.
Wait, that was too bad that you went away because the important those other two highs were evident there. But again, talk about heavy lifting in a pretty well-defined profile.
Yeah.
And like, what is going to be the news? I mean, other than $78 gas, that you actually can't afford to fill your car, so you have to buy an EV.
Just breaking right now, the rail union rejects the first deal, which is standard fare. So,
Matt, that reminds me of several years ago, the Chicago Teachers Union, like they strike all the time.
What do you think inflation's going to do under this situation? By the way,
forget about it.
I mean,
Matt, the important thing was on the trading floor there was intel, and so this guy tells me, he goes, "Hey, the teachers are going to strike for sure." And I'm like, "What do you mean? They still got a week to negotiate?" He goes, "No, this was perfect, by the way." He goes, "No, my sister works for a T-shirt company, and they've already printed the strike T-shirts."
Of course.
Right. So of course they have to strike. Like the T-shirts have already been bought and paid for. The best though is the Chicago Teachers Union had the T-shirts made in Indiana instead of a Chicago teachers shop. The ultimate in irony.
They had a brother down there in Bloomington who owned the T-shirt shop.
Exactly. So I'm sure the strike has to be rejected because I'm sure there's T-shirts printed and signs printed somewhere, and there's a picket line that needs to be walked.
Yeah.
Because these are the things that you do to make the news. You can't. It might be the same contract in a week or 5 days or 2 days that they have right now in front of them. But
but this is the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, right? And they got 4,900 members that rejected the deal with the U.S. freight companies, and so they're joining the two other unions, which represent 60,000 engineers. Think about this: there's 60,000 engineers and conductors, dude. That's a lot. I never realized how many people are driving these trains. That's a lot.
Not only that, Matt, they halved it because they got rid of the caboose, right? That was the best job on the planet. Just go sleep in the caboose for a shift. Like if you're super hungover, like, dude, I have to go to the caboose.
I got out of the caboose today.
You just wake up, you left Dubuque, you wake up in, Peoria. You're like, whoa, man, that was a rough shift I had.
That was a fast ride. That was a fast ride.
All right. That's what we got. Listen, if you're going to tailgate this weekend and you don't have some Shrimp Mojo, you are doing it wrong. For sure.
Before you go to the Shrimp Mojo pitch, let me just throw out one more chart that I meant to bring up yesterday. We wanted to talk a little bit about healthcare, United Health, because there is always a bull market somewhere, Bob, right? And just to point out that we're equal opportunists. UNH, if you haven't looked at it, it's been on just a bullish tear from COVID low of 188, currently printing 514.61, up small today, as high as 550. Still very bullish, but I'd be watching for a break of 440 here. If you want to look for a downside move, it won't come until this 440 level is breached on a close. But when it does, that means it'll probably trade back to 300. So
Yeah, I just don't see anything in our lifetime that's going to do that.
well,
The demand for healthcare already.
I understand this, but I'm just
sticky.
trying to point out it's a bullish chart unless it breaks 440.
Right
So
on.
that's
Right
all I'm
on.
saying. So
Yeah,
stay
I don't
long
know.
the course, and dividend on this is surprisingly low, 1.25. But then again, they pay, they must pay their administrators big at UNH, because this is doing really well with whatever, pricing scam that they have going against you and I. So it's working out well.
It is UNI, by the way. That's
I
the
know.
call letter. UNI.
UNH.
And they-
but yes.
And they pilfer from whose pockets, man?
You and I.
Oh, UNI. There you
Yep.
go.
Exactly.
All right, that's it. Marketrebels.io is the site, the community. Market Rebels
Again,
is
very slow. This is not an inside day, but it's an inside day. We're basically staying inside, the opening. We're not getting above that breakdown level again of 320 yesterday. We're not there yet. We're still 100 points below it on the NASDAQ. We're up 100 points. Very light rally, Bob. Again, if we break that 1280, watch out below. I think we got to test 11,000 again if we break that level again. I think
I just cannot,
we have not tested 11,000 yet. And that was the low from, when was it? June, whatever that was. So yeah, June 15th was the low. So if it's going to happen, I believe it's going to happen here in September. If it's not going to happen, then, we'll probably, find a bottom here and rally for whatever reasons, because I guess, rails are going to go on strike, and, therefore I guess the Fed will get in and buy more. I don't know. Maybe we'll take something up.
Somebody tweeted that if the Fed isn't short the shit out of this after this rally, they're doing it wrong. I continue to say it.
Natty gas,
trading this.
Natty gas again at the high of the day. So just pointed out, up 6.2%. Take some profits today. Take some profits.
And
take some profits.
Now, where do we get our electricity in Bend, Oregon?
This PG&E.
Is it a natural gas, coal? What are we doing?
I don't know.
I need to know that, because I need to go stockpile some coal. I think it's gonna be a cold winter.
You should definitely get a full quart of wood so I can come over and be at your fire pit.
Right on.
And I'll be camping out in your fire pit.
All right, that's what we got. Please share and retweet it far and wide. And again, Amazon.com, search Shrimp Mojo and buy yourself some rub. Do yourself a favor, cook someone a meal, and win the tailgate with shrimp on a stick. Thank you, Matt. Hey, thank you, Lee, and thank you, Mike. Not the pillow guy. Thank you, Mike.
Mike, the pillow guy.
No, not the pillow. Mike, not the pillow guy.
Right. They got his phone anyways.
See ya. They got his phone.